What is going on, guys and girls? How you doing today? It's Singer Roleplay here once again, boys and girls. And today I want to share my thoughts on this new game called Magic Legends, which just opened up an open beta like a week ago or something. And the game is actually pretty cool. I like what I saw, and it was really fun to play. But there's always this, MMO things that also kind of become boring as soon as you get to the end game and there's like nothing else to do. So I just wanted to let you know, guys, what I think about the game so far. So what the game is about is kind of the adaptation of Magic the Gathering card tabletop experience in the form of action RPG. So they wanted to take the lore of the Magic the Gathering and adapt it into the action RPG like Diablo 3 or Path of Exile. The game actually looks exactly like Diablo 3 in my opinion. It's literally a straight copy of Diablo 3. It doesn't look very good, to be honest. The detalization and the textures are really simple. They look dated, like 10 years old maybe, but it all could be better honestly at this point. But yeah, it is what it is. Gameplay wise, it plays as a pretty straightforward action RPG. You got some skills to use. You kick the skill and basically you hit monsters, do damage, they die, you get some loot, and you go on and move on with the game. So speaking about the gameplay, I think it was a pretty solid experience. Actually, pretty action RPGs, nothing bad about it. The only problem is it's mostly is kind of a little slow gameplay, which reminded me of the pace of the game, more like what I saw in Grim Dawn. It's definitely not as fast as Diablo 3. It's more like slowed down version of Diablo 3 probably. Another thing that they did is basically there is, as you can see, a Magic the Gathering adaptation, of course. So they just took the cards and turned them into the spells. So every card you have is actually a spell. And it uses mana to cast. So you gain mana by hitting things with your generator, which once again is kind of like Diablo 3 thing. You have the resource and you spend it on casting spells and skills, and you gain it back by hitting things as well. Also, you can passively regenerate in some cases as well, but mostly hitting things is how you get a mana back. Once you get a mana back, you can cast things again. Some of these spells or cards, they kind of you need to spend more mana, some of them less. Some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker. I actually initially started to playing as a necromancer. I wanted to play like a summon and necro, but unfortunately you cannot play a full necromancer and like full summoner in the game because the game doesn't really allow you to have like a full stacked deck of minions, because there's a limit of how many minions you can have. So my dreams were kind of shattered because of that. I really wanted to become like a passive necro like in PoE, but in this game it's impossible. You still have to use something else other than minions. What is cool about this game is there is like a lot of things to do. You can go on a quest. There is also like random missions, like the skirmish missions. There's also several continents and worlds which you can travel to. And speaking about the Magic the Gathering implementation, there are different types of mana you need to harvest in this game, and there are different worlds of different colors there in the game as well. And if you and most of the things is kind of a random drops, aside from there was that you get from completing the missions. So let's say if, the worlds are basically separated by colors. So one world is more like the greenish, world with a lot of trees and shit, and this wall, when you kill monsters and complete the missions, mostly gives you the green-based spells, kind of green mana-based spells. And if you get like in a fiery world, you get the fire red-based spells, which is mostly like the Geomancer. There's different classes as well. There's like several classes you can play as well. and each of the classes kind of is using basically its own kind of base color of the spells of the cards. For example, the Necromancer uses the black cards and they uses the black spells. Geomancer uses the kind of red, as far as I can remember. There's also kind of a druid which uses greens. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's not bad at all, and it doesn't mean that you cannot get spells from different from different colors. For example, I'm using the white mana a lot. You see, there's an angel running around, which I got from the different world, and I have a bunch of black mana along with white mana, which is kind of fun actually. And I'm using like demons along with angels in my quests and my gameplay, which is pretty fucking cool actually. I like this. Now, speaking about the game itself, there is also a cool feature called the realm, which kind of your realm. Aside from different continents where you go and do the quests, there's also a little bit of a realm, which is your meditation realm, which is like your hideout, where you have like a base with different structures which you can upgrade. There is different things you can do by spending resources that you gather on the missions, like you can unlock more powerful spells, you can generate more mana towards, kind of generate mana, which mana is a resource in this game. There are multiple resources in this game: ether, mana, gold. You can buy a lot of stuff with different types of resources and spend it in different multiple ways. So there's actually a big variety of things you can do, but overall I like the idea about this cool hideout, which you can kind of spend your resources and make upgrades, unlock more powerful spells, actually unlock some mods for your gear. There's also kind of the equipment in this game as well. It's pretty simplistic in my opinion. It could have like more detail. It's not unlike your, click move over there. It's kind of very simple. It looks pretty shitty in my opinion, but there is still equipment and you randomly get gear when you kill something as well. So it's not that bad. You can also spend spell pages, another specific resource to upgrade existing spells. There's also multiple ways to do it, but overall just by grinding and grinding. And now we come to the end of this video when I want to talk about the end game. Unfortunately, this is where the game kind of ends for me, because once I finish all the quests and the storylines on each of the continents, and keep in mind on each of the continents you have a pretty big storyline. I spent like 3 days exploring the beta and finished all the possible storyline quests over there, which were kind of cool, but nothing crazy. And after you do this, there's nothing much you can do, honestly. There's a couple of daily missions that you're given on each of the continents, which is more like the just the repetition of your old quests and old missions, and nothing new there. You can also go and just kill some mythic bosses, which are kind of the random encounter on the map. You can also go to the Greater Rifts. Yeah, there is kind of a weird thing, like the Greater Rift in this game, which kind of a random portal in the Whimsyshire, which opens up randomly on the map as well, which is like a little bit of a dungeon, nothing crazy about it. So yeah, there's things to do, but unfortunately not much things to do, and it's mostly just where the standard MMO grind starts, where you just grind higher tier content for better rewards. There's no real reason, there's no like tougher bosses or anything so far. It's just the same shit over and over again, the same shit that you recycle from the storyline quest, just harder, just more HP, just more damage. So unfortunately, this is where the game ends for me, because I'm not a fan of MMO grind. And to give you guys the short answer, is it worth playing in general? I think it definitely does worth playing for a couple of days to check the storyline quest, because they're pretty cool and you can unlock different spells and try them out. They're also really cool. From the downside and the cons of the game, I would say that AI of the monsters and bosses is absolutely non-existent. it's just terrible. I stood near some of the bosses, and they do deal like no damage to me. They don't care, they don't aggro on me at all. So it was kind of weird. I have never seen such a terrible AI in any games, but I really haven't played much MMOs at all, so I really can't really compare it to anything else. But I was kind of surprised by how atrocious the AI of the monsters and bosses in general, and even your minions, kind of absolutely terrible, have terrible AI. They just stall around, they just idle, they don't do nothing, they AFK, they go in random directions, they do not attack anything. So it's incredibly weird and weak. So it's up to you guys to decide if you want to play it or not. In my opinion, it's worth giving it a try and play it for a couple of days, but in the end, it's just a never-ending MMO grind and pay-to-win cosmetic bullshit starting after you finish the game. So, guys, check it out. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.